All right, this is a cautionary tale, I guess. I've tried to make this twice now. I haven't liked either one of them. I got to keep this just straight on the level. If you want to be a tattoo artist, you want to be an apprentice. That people are asking me now. Like, what do? They want to be a tattoo artist. They're interested in this world. And first off, let me be the first person to tell you fuck off. Welcome to my industry. You want my job, huh? But really, I do want to say it is for some people. It's not for everybody. If it is for you, then you're going to find that out. The first way to be a tattoo artist is to be a tattoo artist. To not let anything get in the way of it, you know? There's schools out there nowadays. I guess you can try that. I don't have a lot of respect for them, but I do have a certain fear if you don't search your mentor properly. If you just take the first tattoo artist that you meet and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll teach you how to tattoo. You know, first off, you should be trading money and expect to do some amount of work. You should be putting something in, and otherwise, trust me, that person's trying to take advantage of you somewhere else. A lot of girls especially, have a story about how they got into tattooing that involves getting sexually harassed or sexually molested. So choose your mentor properly. Sometimes you don't have it, and maybe that's where the schools come in. But I don't think they teach you some of the finer parts of people and of management of your client. You know, people will walk all over you, and you have to be able to have an ability to control the situation so that they don't end up with a shitty tattoo. Worst thing somebody can do is get a tattoo that they want, because they fucking want some stupid shit. I mean, that's not true. It's not the worst thing, but like they're going to want a tattoo when it's done right. But most people, they're a plumber or a mechanic or a teacher or something, and they think about these tattoos, and they think about the subjects that they want in them, and then they put way too many of them in, you know, and they just ruin this recipe. One guy in particular sent me he wanted me to do some portraits of some hockey players on them, and he sent me 2 images. One image was of a full sleeve on this guy of this beautiful black and gray hockey theme. It's beautiful. It had one guy standing there with a Stanley Cup in a silhouette. Simple. And inside it, that was kind of the back end of this larger portrait of that same player's face. And then up top, it had like a bit of the rink and a player like slashing or something like that. Relatively simple. And that's the whole arm for those 3 images. And then he sent me another quarter sleeve that had an image of everybody that ever played hockey and the Stanley Cup or something. It was like the Stanley Cup was in the middle, and then there was just a fuck ton of hockey players that you could never tell. It was done so poorly. One, it looked terrible, and you couldn't understand it. But he was saying, I want all of this, but I want it to be like this. And it's like, well, you can't. The reason that beautiful black and gray sleeve is like it is because of the simplicity, the lack of so many subjects. Most people try and cram way too much crap into a tattoo, and they'll force you to do it. You've seen that on the Stinkmaster there. On Inkmaster, the canvas would force you into putting, and knowing that he had a leverage, you know, the producer telling him he had a leverage. Anyways, you need to not be put in that position as a tattoo artist early on in your career, or else you will have a bunch of mistakes that will become ingrained in you almost. And it will be hard to overcome those because they actually occur before the tattoo even takes place. You know, once people get a rein on you too, a lot of people control way too much. Like if you start giving them an inch on the design towards a bad design, this sounds to a customer, this probably sounds bad, like I'm just complaining about the client. But there is an amount of that. I'm trying to put the best tattoo on you. I need your subject. I need your theme. I need the emotional feel. And other than that, you're going to try and put too much in. You know, you don't stand over the plumber and tell him put an S-curvy thing in there and then be surprised when everything leaks. But I know that in the conversation, I'm going to get the blame. No matter what. If people are looking at the tattoo and they're looking with the person that, you know, helped do the tattoo, that basically took my hand and was like, no, I want this right here. It's happened. Oh, man, it happened. I hate it because, I don't know, it's almost like somebody feels like they just need to control something. I don't know what fear they get in between it, but then they're like, I need to control this. And I'll just be like, you know what, fuck you, dude. You want to do this stupid thing. You want to close off in this one particular case, it was, you want to close off this part on this Samoan tribal. You want to take away the open. I've created something with open space. And I need all three of these elements, you know, to make this whole cohesive part. But you want to, that open space is already, we're not even done. We're not even through it. But you're already having problems that the open space is there. And for some reason, you can't move on. You know, you can't let me do these other parts until you make sure that you've controlled this. And then you do, we fill it in, and it looks like fucking shit. And you got what you wanted. But when you're telling somebody about it, you're like, I don't know, and they're like, yeah, it's all right. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I don't know. The artist fucking did that. Obviously he did that. So to not be that dick in that conversation where you cannot defend yourself, you have to control the situation where you can. No, I need to have good work out there, and you have to. Some of the best tattoo artists, they have a really strong no. That's what I've studied it. You know, that's why I'm on the road. The reason I got out of Flint, Michigan is because Flint, Michigan's a kind of small little itty bitty, you know, pond. And you get kind of feeling like you're a big fish in a small pond. But you really just fucking, you know, you get out in the ocean and then you get eaten by the sharks. So I wanted to go swim with the sharks. I wanted to test my mettle out there and kind of rub elbows with these guys. And that's something that I've learned is that some of the best tattoo artists in the world, I've had the privilege to meet them, to hang out with them, to drink with them, to eat with them, to commune with these people. And they have a strong no. You know, they have the ability to tell the client, that's fucking stupid. Sometimes they say it like that. Like that's like some Steve Monet stuff, I feel. I'd love to have him on at some point. And then there's people like Nico who have a subtle no, you know? But he does certain things. You're not gonna come to him and get him to do something, you know, that he doesn't do or doesn't want to do, because he knows he won't be good at it. And there's so many people that are good at it, and you'll still get another tattoo. You'll get the tattoo from me. So you still want that tattoo? Get it from someone else. Get this tattoo, kind of the stuff that we do, the stuff that I do. A lot of them, that's the subtle no. But if you don't have a strong no, then people start to run over top of you. My Joe Satterwhite, guy that brought me into the industry, I got the fortune to work for, and it's the only place I really got any discipline as a tattoo artist, because before that it was all me out of the apartment. And I told him, you know, I've been tattooing for 2.5 years now, when I'm getting the job, and he says, man, I don't even want to hear that. You're lucky I need you right now. I need somebody, because that's the wrong kind of stuff to say. He says, you know, I have to untrain you. That when I hear 2.5 years, that means to me I have to untrain you. But we'll let you start out. We'll see how you do. And luckily, I impressed him. Impressed him long enough to stay there until motherfucker turned on me and got me fired. The manager, you know, hard times. It was after 9/11. People wasn't getting tattooed. And it was going to be one of us. So he started blaming everything on me. Started embezzling money from him, and saying that it was probably coming up from me. And Joe was a guy that watched his numbers. But ironically, no, not unironically, he made the wrong choice. I remember he told me that too, though. He says, you know, I made Phil the manager, and I've got to give him a certain amount of, did I say his name? Well, fuck, I didn't mean to. And not because I don't care to ruin it, just not to, I don't want to give that guy any energy. That guy's a douchebag, and he's still around, I think. I heard he was still around. But he tried to frame me, and Joe still had to go out of business after he got rid of me. Why'd you have to go out of business? Because that was the guy robbing you. It wasn't me. I was too, and you should know, I'm too young in the industry. I can't rob you. I need this too badly. You know, Phil had all kinds of opportunities. I said his name again. Piece of shit. Anyways, the kid actually stole artwork from artists in Flint. Not artwork, but like, you know, back then portfolios he took, and he'd represent other people's art as his. Crazy. And now I hear he's running some kind of supply company somewhere. I'm like, or something. At any rate, moving on. I think I was trying to tell apprentice how to be better apprentice, or telling people who are interested in tattooing that they should be an apprentice, and that's really what you should do. I made mine is a cautionary tale of reasons that you should be an apprentice, and be careful of who you try and choose as a mentor. Make sure it's a reputable person, because most people's experience starting out the gate, they go to one guy, he turns out to be a douchebag, and then they get a job somewhere else, and that ends up being part of their story. You know, like, well, my apprenticeship kind of lasted. It was actually 2 apprenticeships, because I went to the douchebag first, and I went to the and I'm spent.